Welcome to Career Lunch.
Hey.
I'm your host, Katherine McCord of Titan Management, and I have with me our favorite co-host. I shouldn't say that, but our favorite co-host, Dan Irvin.
Oh, you said it. It's recorded. People heard it. Favorite.
That's right. Now it's out there.
Man, I'm so happy to be here. Thank you for having me back. I love what you're doing here, and I'm just so grateful to be here to share, to learn, to connect with other incredible professionals. And I'm excited about a full day, or really a half day of us connecting with people.
Absolutely. Yeah, we have a fantastic lineup. We have some international guests, which is really exciting. We have people from Canada, India, Nigeria. Really, really cool lineup. And we're going to be talking a lot about true diversity, what that actually should look like in the workplace, and then overcoming the job hunt obstacles right now with COVID and all of the other craziness. But yeah, thank you so much again for being here, Dan. And let's talk about you real quick. You have some exciting things going on today and this month. Tell us a little bit about that real quick.
Man, I am very blessed and very fortunate just to have connected with some incredible folks, you included, and just have opportunities to showcase what I love doing. I have been in career transition now for the beginning of the year, and really it's given me an opportunity, and I've had great kind of feedback and influence from people, again, like you and other mentors and people in my life that said, hey, you could probably continue to go down this career transition path and look for your next opportunity, but you really have a gift and an opportunity to share kind of leadership development. And so I've been down kind of two tracks. One is kind of looking for that next career move while also building up what I love doing, kind of my passion project, which is leadership development and my professional speaking opportunities. And so I have a goal to have the website done by the end of this month.
Awesome.
I really started at the beginning of this month, so I gave myself 30 days to have it all complete. And so I'm going to have a website launch at the end of the month. And so I'm excited about that.
Awesome. That's really, really cool, man. I'm so excited for you. And I think it is your calling, by the way. You're definitely gifted. Sorry, I had to fix something with my camera real quick. You're definitely gifted in that area. That's why we keep having you back here on Career Launch. And also you're on the Who You Know show later today.
That's right.
The Who You Know job networking show.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just so fortunate to be connected with such great people, and they asked me to come on later today. And so literally when we wrap up today, I'll be going and kind of switching outfits quickly.
Very quickly.
Getting in my car and going downtown to the studio to go live at 3 Central Time today with them in studio. So, and I'm going to be sharing with them kind of, again, my journey and how I've used content creation and found kind of a passion in that, and hopefully inspire others to do the same thing.
Right, absolutely, and it's really good content, by the way, guys. So I do encourage you to watch the Who You Know show today with Foster and Dan and everybody else. Trevor won't be there today; he's on the road, but I think Dan's trying to steal his job. But
your new host of the Who You Know show, Dan Irvin.
The new host. Oh no. So I do want to kind of talk about. So we talked about we have a great lineup today. You and I are going to kind of start off talking about things that are important to us. But one of the things that is really important to talk about right now is staying true to your personal brand, right? And kind of your personal gifts as you're searching out there. And you just talked about that, how you're bringing the special, Dan trait into everything that you're doing, helping others learn, helping others find find their own path, find their own voice. And you've really taken the time to share that information. First of all, thank you for that. Not only sharing it here, but sharing it I learn from you on LinkedIn almost every day. And guys, that's one thing that you really want to focus on as you're out there, not only career searching, but once you're even in your job. Bring the unique you to your position. That's what I've done every step of the way. And we'll talk a little bit about my story a little bit later. But Dan, how have you brought your personal brand into your careers in the past and led to success?
Yeah, thank you for that. And thank you for saying those such kind words. I appreciate that. I know that when I show up authentically, it does a couple things for me. It actually allows me to speak to who I really am. When I'm talking about a personal brand, I'm not putting on a facade of what I want to be or what I think I am. I want to talk about who I am. And so for me, it really starts with authenticity, which is one of my core values. And then what it also does is I think that people relate and connect with authentic folks, authentic people, and how and you communicate that way. And so for me, it's really looking at it through that lens. I can tell you where that started for me. Several months ago, I actually sat down and went through a process and wrote out, I think you and I have talked about this, but wrote out the priorities I have in life, the core values I have in life, and really what it means for me. It was a several hour, half-day project where I've always had those ideas up here, but getting them written down and thought out and thought through was something that was important to me, because now I don't have to go back to the Rolodex in my head and think about what are the most important things to me, even though I could probably do that. But now they're just literally, you can't see it, but this wall right in front of me, I have all my core values listed here and what they mean to me. And my priorities, I could just riff quickly anyways, because it's how I live my life. And so when you're coming from that place, when you have that framework or that foundation, it is, in my opinion, super easy to have conversations with folks.
Yes.
And then the other component to that, I would say, I'll share with you, is that when I first started creating content and writing content, I was thinking to myself, how can what do people want to hear about? What should I write about? And then I realized pretty quickly that that was totally the wrong approach. I need to write about what I'm passionate about, what I'm excited about, and then I will connect with the people that think that way too, that have that same ideology. And so knowing who I am and being rooted in that and being able to talk to it at any point in time, and then sharing content and ideas and thoughts around what I get out of bed in the morning for, what I'm excited about, what pumps me up, then it becomes really easy to do that, because now I'm talking about things that I enjoy.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. I'm exactly the same way. I even did a post the other day about my dog, literally on LinkedIn. I did a post and I tied it into professional, kind of a professional aspect, but seriously, just whatever you're passionate about, whatever your fire is. And guys, to tie that back into your job search, what that means is use your personal goals, your personal priorities to help you find the right job. And actually, just doing that will help you align with the companies that will hire you. Because let me tell you that 80% of the reason, and Dan knows this because he's been a hiring manager, 80% of the reason you get hired is because they like you. And not just a personal life, but that they know that you'll connect with them professionally and you'll have the same professional goals and those kind of things. So prioritizing that in your search will actually really help you out and help you to find the proper place to work and the place that will give you that offer and the place that will be a good place for you to grow. So real quick, guys, if you're looking for an opportunity, visit our site. It's scrolling along the bottom there, careerlaunch2020.com. There are several employers there with positions listed. We're also going to be having some of the recruiters on later today that have open positions. We'll talk to them about some of what they've got. Oh, and hi. I had somebody just say hi to us. Good morning. It's nice to see you here with us. And also, we are giving away both 2 free resume consultations from yours truly. We're going to have different opportunities throughout the show to win those. And then we are also giving away 5 free internationally recognized Scrum Master certifications. Ooh. We're really excited about that one. And we're going to be, in fact, my behind the scenes tech lady, I'm wondering if she'll be able to flash up an image real quick to show you, yep, there it is, how to enter into the Scrum Master certification. You can screenshot that because I know the type's a little small. Feel free to screenshot that. And also, this image is posted on our Facebook, our LinkedIn, and it will later be on the site as of tomorrow. So that way you can enter into the competition, and the drawing will be late tomorrow. We'll let everybody know. So again, that's one of five free Scrum Master certifications. We're very, very excited about that. And visit careerlaunch2020.com for information on open opportunities. And actually, my company has several opportunities that we're looking for our clients across the nation, several of which are remote. So definitely check those out, especially if you're in merchant services or the financials. And I also have some friends that are looking for insurance agents across the United States. They'll even help you get licensed. So you do not need to be licensed to take part of this opportunity. Definitely reach out to me at our site here. You can see it scrolling along the bottom. do the contact form or connect to me on LinkedIn, or Dan. Also, by the way, connect to Dan. He's great. But connect to both of us. Connect to me if you want to learn about the opportunities, and I'll be glad to share them with you. So Dan, you had a topic that you wanted to discuss with us today. What was that topic?
Well, it was the idea behind, we kind of got into it a little bit already, but talking about LinkedIn and self-marketing, and kind of the reasons why I went down the path that I went down.
Okay.
And then, if we have some time, I wanted to kind of get into kind of my thoughts around intentionality and leadership.
Okay, let's do it.
Get to that. So first is LinkedIn and self-marketing. And so I shared earlier that I've been kind of in this space of identifying kind of how I want this transition to go, how I want people to view me. I mean, Katherine, you mentioned earlier that when you have your priorities aligned, and I love that, because I know that when I look at potential opportunities, whether that's speaking opportunities or even a career transition opportunity, I know real fast if there's an alignment there or not. And so I can then determine, do I want to continue to pursue this opportunity or look for something else? And so that speaks so true and timely for me. But getting back to kind of this self-promotion and where I have kind of put all the chips in, for me, it was about identifying a social channel in the beginning of where am I going to focus all of my time, focus all of my effort. And so I chose LinkedIn just to go all in. I know that there's other social sites and there's benefits to cross pollinating, if you will, in some of these other areas. And I think that I'm eventually going to get there, but I knew that I wanted to really hone in and master kind of one avenue. And for me, that's kind of the way my brain works. I want to really understand something. It's not that I just want to kind of lightly kind of understand each one of those components. I really want to dive in and understand it. So for LinkedIn, for me, it's understanding the algorithm and understanding the times to post and how to get the most effectiveness. Because if I'm going to put the time and energy into creating content that I'm passionate and excited about, well, I want the maximum amount of people to see that stuff, right?
Right.
And especially,
absolutely.
Especially in this career transition and starting kind of this new avenue for me, I want to be top of mind of folks, and I want that reach as far as I can. So I went all in on LinkedIn, and then the second thing I'd bring up is this is really I talk to people all the time about this, is that what I am doing today on social media is not at all what I was doing 6 or 8 months ago.
So true. So true.
I think it's an Eleanor Roosevelt quote, where she's, don't compare your beginning to somebody else's middle, right?
And that's a good one. That's a good one.
I always encourage people, and I just try to come forward with this right off the bat and don't wait for people to ask me. But I always encourage people to say, when you're talking to people, when you're talking to mentors, when you're getting ideas, ask them where they started, not where they're at today.
Yes, 100%.
Today, I'm posting 5, 6, 7, 8 content pieces a week. And that may seem daunting. And I'll be honest with you, 6 or 8 months ago, that was nowhere in sight for me. My goal, literally, back when I started really kind of pumping through content, which is back in December January timeframe was to do one post a week. And slowly, and one went to two. Oh my gosh, I doubled it after a week, right? And then slowly it just started. I started creating processes and procedures that now today, for me to post 5 or 6 content pieces a week takes me the same amount of time that it took me to post 1 or 2 6 to 8 months ago, because I've created processes and procedures for myself to be efficient with that. Right. So, that is such, and that really goes for anything in life, is don't compare your beginning to somebody else's middle. Right.
I think that, and I think even for job seekers, I think that that's really important advice, because you're at the beginning of the career process, right? You're looking. So don't, and also another trap is, don't ask somebody who hasn't been in the job market for 10, 15 years. They don't know. Somebody who was in the job market a year ago doesn't realize what's going on right now. So reach out to people that can help you right now, even other job seekers that can help you right now at the beginning, at the same stage that you're in. And also, by the way, organization is key, as Dan touched on. Organization is crucial, whether it's day-to-day in your work life, whether it's job seeking. And talk to Dan, connect with Dan. That is who you want to talk to about organization. Nobody can get you more organized than Dan the man over here. So over there. Sorry, I always do that. I always point the wrong way. Over there.
Yeah, that's definitely a topic that I love talking about. And I love understanding where people are with it, and then giving them what I perceive as their next kind of step or two. Now, some people look at how I organize my day, my week, my month, my quarter, and they're like, whoa, that is too much for me. And I would agree. It was too much for me years ago when I started too. But again, it's evolved. I've evolved into that, not because I just think it's fun, even though I do, but I've seen the payoff. It's an amazing mind shift when we actually start seeing the successes from the changes that we're making in our lives, in our professional lives, or whatever it may be, because then it just, for me anyways, motivates and fuels the continuation of that. And so
100%.
What I love doing is really understanding where people are today, and then saying, okay, in my brain, I go, okay, I remember when I was there, what was the first or second step that I did on the path to where I am today? And so I like working with people to say, okay, just think about this. If you could, one of the first things I start, I'll just kind of give a teaser here. One of the first things I start with a lot of people is what would it mean if you were to have themed days? And Katherine, you've heard me talk about this before.
Right. Yes.
But and for me, what that looks like today is that I have meetings on Tuesdays and Fridays, and I have my project work on Wednesdays and Thursdays. And so if you want to meet with me, it's going to be a Tuesday and Friday. I mean, that's it. With the rare exception. But because I'm saying yes to meetings on Tuesdays and Fridays, I'm saying no to them on Wednesdays and Thursdays, because those are the days that I'm intentional about progressing myself on the goals that I have, that I've created for myself. If I don't create that space, it will never happen.
And that was the best word to use, intentional. Be intentional with everything that you're doing in your job search. Organize your job search. And you and I have talked about this before on the show. Organize your job search. Say, okay, from this time to this time, I'm going to look on Indeed. From this time to this time, I'm going to look on Monster. From this time to this time, I'm going to market myself on LinkedIn and connect to people and message them and reach out to recruiters. From this time to this time on these days, I'm going to participate in a networking event. And by the way, if you're in DFW, where Dan is located, I have there are some great resources there. Connect to Foster Williams. He has literally 20-something networking groups in the DFW area. All of them are fantastic. Frisco Connect is wonderful. But find networking events, and there are tons of virtual ones right now, guys, tons of them. There are also either free or extremely inexpensive virtual conventions right now in which you can participate. That's a huge opportunity to further yourself professionally, even if you already have a job, to further yourself professionally and to grow and to learn. So definitely take advantage. In fact, Trevor Houston has an event coming up I forgot the dates. I'm so sorry. I forgot the dates, but definitely check out Trevor Houston on LinkedIn. He has a fantastic event coming up with education and job search resources.
Yeah,
So, I
wanted to give a tip and trick there. You said about it made me think of, and something that I do. Again, I think what I love about connecting with folks is that I'm not talking to people about, in theory this might work. I'm talking to people about, this is what I do today.
Yes.
So
yeah.
This is what I've seen success from. I'm not giving you some framework and say, well, I learned this from somebody else, but I can't really vouch for it. No. Everything that I share with people are things that I do every single day, every single week. And so when you were saying that, Katherine, it made me think of, when you talk about setting aside time for like an Indeed and Glassdoor and LinkedIn jobs, for me, the way that I do that, and another way that I organize my week, is that 3 times a day I have admin time, right? And so I do admin 8 to 8:30, 12:30 to 1:30, and 5 to 5:30 every single day. And that's when I do admin. And I have also aligned my email to actually dump in my inbox at those times too. So I don't get email. As you know, yesterday you emailed me.
I did, and you did. You didn't see it.
I'll share with everyone. Katherine emailed me yesterday. We were doing a test run on this for the show, and she emailed me in that dead period where I don't get email, where I turn it off. And then so there's a slight miscommunication. But she's like, "Hey, I emailed you." I'm like, "Yeah, I didn't do it because I don't."
Yeah, well, too bad, Katherine.
So
but it's really a good way to do it, though. It is.
Yeah,
it is. Yeah.
And the reason that I'm intentional about doing that is that I know my tendencies. I know that if I see an unread email in my inbox, doesn't matter what I'm doing, I need to go and look at that. I need to go
100%. Yes. Right.
And so I know that about me. So to be intentional about being focused and energized towards the work that I'm doing in that moment, that I need to turn that stuff off. The beautiful thing about that is that I've given myself space to do that type of work, right? I mean, I've 3 times a day, I'm looking at my email, I'm doing admin. And so back to what we were saying about looking at jobs like Indeed and Glassdoor and those types of things, is that I batch all of that work. And so I will do it in that admin time, right? So when all those emails come in, I have a rule on my email that it goes to a specific folder, right? So it just all gets bunched into a folder. And then once a day in one of those admin times, and depending how many are in there, maybe multiple times a day in those admin times, I'm going and clearing out those particular folders. Now there may be particular jobs that I'm like, ooh, this is one that I'm really interested in. Okay, well, that now becomes part of my project work time. I'm not going to do it there in admin. I'm going to make a note. I'm going to say, okay, I need to set aside 30 minutes to really put together a great customized resume and cover letter. And so then I create a task to do during my project work time. And so anyways, that's kind of how I
how you do it, how you stay organized.
I make space for everything, because I know that like just right now talking to you, I'm not worried about getting some other project done. I'm not worried about meeting with somebody, because I know that I've created space this week to do all the things that are important to me to progress me on my goals.
Right. And guys too, so this is something that, so we're kind of tying into attention to detail right now. So I want to take a moment to kind of tell a couple of funny stories that have happened to me very recently as kind of examples of what not to do and how to make sure that you're paying attention, because it has caused some difficulty in this person's job search. So first of all, I got one this morning, actually. This happened this morning. And this person was applying to a position within my company, and they sent me a copy of one of their bills. Now, I guarantee you what happened was they were uploading them to some kind of organizational system that they have, and they just clicked the wrong thing when it came to upload. So instead of receiving their resume, I received their electric bill, which was really interesting. And I just sent them an email and, kind of laughingly told them, but that's how I handled it. I still ask for their resume. Most companies will not do that. So you have to pay attention and make sure you're uploading the right thing, attention to detail. Another one is, I had a situation recently where someone kept applying over and over and over and over and over again. and I kept sending them a rejection. And they kept applying to the same exact role. And so I finally just reached out to this person and I said, I just wanted to touch base with you. Apparently, you're just really convinced that you're a fit for this position. And so we talked about it, and they weren't a fit. And we kind of went through the whole thing. And I said, so why were you doing this? They said, well, it was on different platforms. And I thought maybe if I applied it on every single platform and if I applied multiple times, and I'm going, no, because all you did was blow up my system and I saw your name like 12 times and then you look like a crazy person. So please, guys, when you're doing this kind of thing, be intentional. So in other words, if you really feel that you're a good fit and you got a rejection, find a different way that's not just applying to contact that person, because there's obviously something in your resume that's not being communicated properly. Or with a bigger company, maybe their ATS filtered you out before a person even saw it. So contact them. A lot of companies, you can get email addresses for HR. That's not a problem. You can call into a lot of companies. Just a little secret, guys. Ask the receptionist for or whoever answers the phone for an email to HR, and they will give you one. And for a lot of larger companies, even mid-sized companies. So definitely take advantage of that. Get that contact information. Contact them on LinkedIn and go, hey, I just want to let you know I saw this. I really think I'm a good fit. Here's why. I'm really passionate about this. And show that passion, show that excitement, get them excited about you. It's like a sales pitch, right? Just get them super, super excited about you and then go on. And by the way, guys, I'm starting to see some comments come in. Please comment any questions or any thoughts that you have. We will respond to you and we will answer any questions that you have. Dan loves questions, loves to answer questions, just like I do. And I have a comment from one of our guests that's coming out later today, Sabani, says, you should have critiqued the bill on form and content. You know what? That's a good idea. I think I will do that. I think I'll circle back to that person and go, just so that you know.
Yeah, I love
oh my goodness.
I love what you said there, Catherine. There's two thoughts that I had about from either side of that, from the candidate side and the recruiter side. One from the candidate side, which is, obviously make sure that you are a good fit for the opportunity, and then go all in on trying to get a hold of them. If you feel like that you're just a knockout for that role, then yeah, you want to go all in. The problem that I've seen sometimes is that people think that they're a knockout for every role. And so then they don't know the difference between what an extremely valuable opportunity for who they are is,
right,
and just what everything else is. So knowing who you are and what you're looking for, you'll know exactly when you find that opportunity, and then you can go to some of those extra steps like you're talking about. Contact.
Be tenacious. Be tenacious. Just attack it with tenacity.
When you see something you're like, that's me. You want that to be you want that to be the moment that you're like, I'm going all in. I'm going to try to get a hold of as many people.
100%. Yeah. I just talked about this yesterday on Frisco Connect with Foster Williams. I told him, I said, there was a young man. I was sitting years ago. I was working at a large security company, and I was building out their national recruiting team. And I'm sitting there working. I was really, really swamped, and I had not been taking meetings for a few days. And this young man comes walking into my office, dressed in suit and tie, and says, "Are you Katherine McCord?" And I said, "Yes, I am. How can I help you?" And he says, "I'm here because I heard that you may be wanting some new recruiters, and I'm here to apply. This is my day off. This is the only time that I had." And I said, "Okay." So he came walking in, and my receptionist is behind him, just smiling at me and shutting the door. And he sits down and he tells me who he is. He tells me his background, which has nothing to do with recruiting, not at all, not in the least. And tells me why he would be fantastic at the position. Tells me, the skills that he already has, the things that he dreams of, the things that are his goals that are in line with what we're accomplishing there. And looks at me flat out and says, "If you hire me, it will be the best decision you've ever made." And just stopped and looked at me dead in my eye. And I said, "Okay, then you're hired." And you know what? That young man was my top performer for a year straight by a wide margin.
That's what you're looking for, right? I mean, I've been on that other side of the desk, the hiring side. I mean, what you're looking for in candidates is passion and
Yes.
energy and excitement and enthusiasm for the role. And so when you find that role that you're like, that is my opportunity, go all in. The other thing, and then we're going to switch topics, I think, but the other thing I wanted to mention, which is so critical, Katherine, is that you said you noticed that that person was applying over and over again, and you were sending denial letters, and then you eventually reached out. I think that is such a feather in your cap, and I think that's something that we need to talk more to recruiters about. And I'm going to go out on a limb here a little bit and say, you know, people need to hear back from you. I mean, even if it's like, no, thank you, you're not a good fit. I mean, give them the harsh reality versus nothing is better.
Right? It is. And I respond to every resume that comes in, but sometimes they want that extra contact. And I've had people, and one of the things that my rejection email says is it says, if you want additional feedback, please contact me. And that puts the ball in their court. If they want to know why they didn't get chosen, great. If they don't and they just want to keep marching, fine. But I've had people reach back out and go, yeah, you know what? I'd really like to understand why I wasn't chosen. And I help them out. And sometimes I've helped them redo their resume or something like that. Not everyone will have that kind of time, but
if you're really applying for, in that circumstance, if you're really applying for a job that you think is the best fit for you, and then the recruiter saying, no, I don't think it is, but reach out to me if you want to learn more. And then that person reaches out. I mean, I think that just says so much about the candidate. They're like, yes, I want to understand what I'm missing. I appreciate you offering me this assistance. And so help me work through this, even if it's for like 15 minutes of your time. To me, it's so incredible and valuable for the candidate. And then what have you just done? The recruiter's going to look at you and be like, well, this person obviously is like a go-getter and wants to get better. I mean, that's also what you look for in a candidate, right? Someone that wants to develop themselves and is open to feedback. I mean, you're just saying so many things about yourself by putting yourself in that position.
Right, 100%. And I've done more hires off of tenacity and gumption and confidence than anything else. And I have some people, commenting, feedback is a must and things like that. Absolutely. And guys, I apologize on behalf of all crummy recruiters / HR people that are not giving you feedback of any kind whatsoever. Now, if it's generic, please understand, guys, we get hundreds and hundreds of resumes. If you want more specific, take that ball into your court, like Dan said, and reach out and ask for it. A lot of them are willing to give it. They just don't have time to give it to every single person. And yes, to pay attention to details is a very key point. And guys, the young man I talked about earlier who walked into my office, he's been successful in other jobs too with that. So be confident. If you know that you're right, push it. Push that you're right for that job. Be polite, don't be weird, but know that you're right. Be confident that you're right, and pursue that opportunity with a lot of tenacity. Tenacity is the word of the day. We're going to make that the word of the day. Be tenacious. I
love it.
And I will tell you that there are many different ways to do that. And again, reach out to a lot of companies. The receptionist will give you an email to HR. Then you can contact them directly, or a direct phone number. LinkedIn. Sometimes the company Facebook is actually run by HR, that type of thing. So reach out however you can, but be confident in who you are and let people know that you're really great at what you do. When people used to ask me, why should we hire you over somebody else? I would look at them very bluntly and say, because I'm the best. And they would say, what? I'd say, no, that was it. I'm the best. I said, at every single thing I do, I end up at the top, in the top tier. I said, so I'm definitely the right hire. That kind of confidence, you don't have to say that, brand it to you, brand it to who you are, but be confident.
And I think that
and be specific.
That comes again when you align yourself with roles that are actually good fits for yourself, right?
Yes.
You're doing this kind of shotgun spray approach of applying.
Right.
You probably don't even believe in yourself for some of those roles. So you're like, so why should they?
Right. And don't be standard, right? That I keep preaching that. In fact, I did a post about that today on Facebook and LinkedIn. Don't do things because it's the way everybody else does them. Okay. It doesn't matter if you're in business. It doesn't matter if you're job hunting. It doesn't matter if it's in your personal life. Don't do things a certain way just because that's how it's done. Okay. That doesn't get you anywhere. Yeah. Do things the right way, the ethical way, and your way. And I don't mean your way, in other words, like it's my way or the highway, but do it your way. In other words, put your personal touch. That's what I mean when I say that. Put your authentic you into it. And that's how you will be successful. Bring you into it and don't be standard. That's how I started my company. I was looking at the recruiting industry and I was like, this is so lame. Everybody does everything exactly the same way. And when you ask them, why is it done this way? I'm a big why person. I always have been. My grandfather is into science and all this. And so I've always been, why? And I would ask why, and people would say, well, because that's how it's done. That's the dumbest response I have ever heard. It's so dumb. So just do things the right way and the best way. So that's what I did. I started my company and I said, I'm going to charge what I consider to be a reasonable and fair fee, which is nowhere near what most companies charge. I'm going to do volunteer work at every opportunity. And guys, that's another big thing. Even if you're job seeking, volunteer, give back. You'd be real surprised what that can turn into for you. Real surprised. I have had so many wonderful, beautiful opportunities in my life come about just because I was volunteering, doing free resume writing, things like that. I have found fantastic candidates that way that contacted me. Hey, I heard that you'll help veterans do resume writing for free. I need help. I've just gotten out of the service. So I do that and I get a fantastic candidate. I place them somewhere and I make money. You just never know. And we have a question. When recruiters say they would get back, can you suggest how do we get to react and able to ensure we get to hear them? Okay, so here basically they're asking, when a recruiter said they'll get back to you and they're not, how do you get hold of them? My rule of thumb, every 72 hours. Don't be a bugaboo. Don't bug them every 24 hours, multiple times a day, anything like that. And if they gave you a time frame, stick to that time frame. But if not, every 72 hours, send an email. If they don't respond to your email after 2 emails, try 2 emails. After that, then you can give them a call, contact them on LinkedIn. Also, a good recruiter should be giving, not an HR person, but a good recruiter should be giving you their cell phone number. So you should be able to text them. Please respect too that a lot of people that do hiring are on the phone a lot and in meetings a lot. So they can't necessarily answer the phone, but they are glad to respond to you either via email or text. So a good thing to do if you're really interested in a position is to ask the person that's your contact for their cell phone number so that you can text them. Or if they're on Skype or something like that, just as good. WhatsApp, whatever works, but get some second form of contact that's not just an email. And I don't really recommend a phone number either, but that's kind of how I would do it. If they're still not getting back to you right now during COVID, I will tell you a lot of them get furloughed and a lot of them are really far behind. So be a little bit patient with them, please. There's only so much that some of them can do, but if they're just completely ignoring you, move on to the next company. You don't want to work for them anyway. That's just the truth. It's a harsh reality, but it's a truth. But really, take that feedback, but then also take a hint. If you reach out 3 times and you're not hearing back, move on and never put your eggs in one basket. Always keep applying until you get that job, until you have the offer letter in your hand. Keep on applying, keep on interviewing. Never put your eggs in one basket. I tell all of my candidates that. I've had candidates think I'm going to be angry with them because they're interviewing other places. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. You keep on going and do what is best for you. That's your whole responsibility, okay? Is doing what you need to take care of you and your family. So do that. Now be polite, stay in contact, let people know what's going on, but do what's good for you. 100%.
Yeah, I love one of the things that I know about you, and one of the things you write about, Katherine, is, and you mentioned this already. I'm curious on some other things that you do here, because I think it needs to be said. People need to hear it, and then on both sides of the table. But you talk about doing things the right way. I could probably spend an hour on just talking about what it means to do things the right way.
You and me both, buddy.
Doing things the right way, even if it means breaking standards. So you talked a little bit about that as far as, we always do it this way, right?
Yeah.
I think there is some evidence that, okay, we always do it this way because it always works. But if we're not consistently testing it to make sure it's still working and it's still at the level that it needs to be, I think that's what you're saying is like, it's okay to do it the same way as long as you're testing it and making sure that it works.
Right. Yeah. I mean, like, for instance, I saw this ludicrous post recently that said, don't apply to job boards. 80% of jobs are not on them. No, that's not right. I don't even know where that person got that statistic. Definitely use job boards, which is the standard way, right? Use those, apply to them, but don't limit yourself. That works sometimes, but go above and beyond for those roles that you really feel connected, for which you really feel connected. That's something that is really personal to me. That's how I've gotten a lot of my jobs. For instance, I once worked with the travel partner to the Dallas Cowboys. Go Cowboys, by the way. Really excited about this season. But I really wanted this job. I saw the posting. I thought, oh, this is so for me. So I wrote them this really personal email telling them about how my aunt was on the original cheerleading squad. And I even have a cousin named after Tom Landry. That's not a joke. And and yeah, go Cowboys. And I just really made it personal. And when I went in, I spent the entire time telling them about my passion for helping, for the Cowboys and for helping people and all of that. And they hired me. I got the job on the spot. Loved every single second of doing that. I worked with them for 2 seasons and I would have kept going. There were some extenuating circumstances there, but I loved it. It was fantastic. And it was just because I made it personal. I just found something I latched on and I refused to let go.
You saw that opportunity and you're like, this is for me. And yep. You probably were in there in that conversation and they felt the energy. They felt the authenticity and the passion in what you were saying. And so they're like, man, I mean, okay, she ticks the boxes on being credentialed and actually fitting the role, but this is who we want on our team. We want someone that like has a connection. And so when you actually have those authentic connections, it's real easy to have discussions about those opportunities. I wanted to ask you, when you think back about the different, just high level, and what I mean by that is just overqualified from an individual, who they were, not necessarily of like the certifications they had or the education they had, but when you think back, you probably have a handful, at least, of people that you think like they would work in any job I put them in.
Oh gosh, yeah. Oh yeah.
What are some of those qualities that you see that in those people, and then what you're looking for when you're going through kind of that intro process of candidates?
I will tell you the number one, and you'll hear this over and over and over again, but it's very true, is confidence. If you come in and you look afraid, and I don't mean that you're nervous about an interview, that's not what I mean, but if you look like you're afraid to talk about what you do, that's a turnoff, and that's not really going to work. Another thing is a thirst for knowledge. That's a huge one, guys. I want to see somebody that's done research, that's learned on their own, that took it upon themselves, and independence, that takes things upon themselves to go do this. Somebody that's not just sitting around waiting to be told what to do, but somebody that goes, you know what, I finished this. Let me go over here and help this department. They look like they need some help. And somebody who's not afraid to talk about those things and to let me know. Those are the 3 most prevalent things that I look for with those people. Another thing, you use the word overqualified, and I do want to touch on that just a little bit, because that's something that a lot of people get told all the time. You're overqualified, you're overqualified, you're overqualified. That can mean a couple of things. Number one, it can mean that somebody that's doing the hiring is junior, okay, and that they don't really know what they're looking at. It can mean the insecurity of the hiring manager, meaning that they think that you're going to take their job. Okay. And in which case, one of the best approaches to overcome that obstacle is to take the time to let them know that this is your target position. This is what I'm going for. I've known people that stepped down from management because they hated it and they missed being on the floor. I've known people that said, you know what? I just want to try something new. I just want to try something different for a bit. And they just take a step back in their career from management, executive, whatever it is, to learn something new and try a different industry and that kind of thing. That is perfectly wonderful, actually. Some of the best people I've ever hired. And so really just make it clear to people, this is the position that they want. Even gear your resume that way, by the way. You can, talk about things that specifically target those types of positions on your resume and highlight your experience that focuses on those attributes. Perfect way to do that. It doesn't seem so overwhelming to the person.
What I love about that too, if I can just add something there.
Yeah, sure.
I've experienced this myself, is that I think when it's done well, you're also able then to open the door a little bit to who you are as a person. I think
yes.
For me, I align, and I can think back when I've had different discussions for different opportunities, and I'm just letting them know, like, no, I actually am interested in this role because of the seasonality of life I'm in right now, right?
Right.
I have 3 kids under the age of 9. I mean, my priorities and where I want to be is that I want to be with them. And so having flexibility in a role is important to me, right? And so when I'm having those type of discussions, I mean, it's creating a relationship with that person. They're getting to understand me more, and I'm answering their question. And I'm really answering.
Yeah. I completely agree with you. And by the way, guys, that is and to recruiters out there watching this, and HR people, that is a very common reason that people take a step back. People like to step back and go, okay, you know what? I have these priorities. Now I have kids. Now I have a spouse. Or I want to travel. That's another really big one. I want to travel. And when you're at the tippity top, or you own your own business, let me tell you, you're never on vacation. It does not exist. I don't get a day off. It's not real. That's not a real thing. So I completely understand people that want to take that step back and want to prioritize different things. So that's an important thing to relay in your cover letters and things like that. And it's an important thing to remember as a hiring manager.
Yeah. And to your comment first, which is confidence, you have to know that about you and be able to tell that story. Yes. So that way it comes across confidently. Because if I was fumbling over that, like, well, I mean, I have kids and I want to be around them. I mean, if I'm going to say the reason that I want to be with them is that I want to be an influence in their life, and it's important for me right now because of the ages that they're in, and me walking them to school in the morning is such a critical component to me being successful and whatever else. I mean, those types of and I understand why I want it. I mean, really going through those paces and understanding it makes it real easy to exhibit that confidence like you were talking about.
Right.
Which is so important.
Right, 100%. So we're going to start bringing on some additional guests coming up, but I wanted to take an opportunity real quick to remind you again about our Scrum Master certification giveaway. We're giving away 5 free internationally recognized Scrum Master certifications. There are entering instructions. There we go. There's the instructions on how to enter. Feel free to screenshot those and save them. They're also posted on our Facebook and our LinkedIn several times over. So you can definitely check into that. Please register. The drawing is tomorrow. We're very, very excited about this. This is a great opportunity to further your career. And then also, if you're looking for an opportunity, go to careerlaunch2020.com. Again, that is careerlaunch2020.com. We have thousands upon thousands of opportunities posted. Some you have the opportunity to connect directly with the recruiter. And in some of the other cases, you have an opportunity to just apply and then hear back hopefully within the next week or so. Project Help You Grow is integrated onto our site. They're a phenomenal resource for job seekers. They have, like I said, thousands upon thousands of jobs, but they also provide resume assistance. They can do some interview trainings, things like that with you. So definitely check them out as well. So as we're going into our career, kind of into the rest of the show, I want to first of all thank everybody, including yourself, Dan, that comes on this show, because nobody's paid to be here. These are all just people that want to help everybody and want to contribute and want to give back. And we are all here for you. So please connect to us on LinkedIn. Dan Irvin is right over here next to me. And then Katherine McCord, connect to us on LinkedIn. We will connect with you. We will interact with you. We will talk. I know I keep doing that too. We will talk to you, and we will help you grow.